followed D&D history for long, you're probably familiar with this. Caverns of Thracia by Janelle Jacquays and Judges Guild 1979. This is the dungeon adventure module that has become the test by which all dungeon design is measured today. We're glad that you're joining us for this adventure. Like, subscribe, and share. They have been waiting for over 1,000 years. The things that lurk beneath the waters, skulk in the darkness, and lie hungrily in the dank crypts have been patient. All around them, men and monsters bicker for the above ground. None have been bold enough to traverse the dark cavern's depths, afraid, or perhaps wise enough, to leave the forgotten vaults and hidden passages alone. And still they wait, undisturbed. For you, an adventurer, are willing to brave those depths. Welcome back to Lioness. It is the 13th, Bobrog the 13th of 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖆. And it is deadly cold outside. Find this. The winds beat against the windows and the wooden structure of the Bloody Bowl Inn in Conma. And it is, the entire village seems to have settled into a kind of hibernation. There are no other adventurers here. It is unusual for an island of Lioness to take on the winds of its eastern island cousins. But those weather systems seem to have made their way across the reeks and the rocky shores of Iran, and they have made it to the northeastern Isle of Telgran. In fact, it is outside right now around minus 30 Fahrenheit. It is clear and very windy. Anyone traveling in the dark in that wind, it would be deadly. So there is no one here to recruit. It is calm. There is just enough. There are people here willing to serve you pottage for copper. By the way, do not subtract money, because I have not been here to run the game. So you can assume that your adventurers have been about business. Right? We didn't, or did we run the week before last? We did. We ran the week before last, but not last week.
Not last week.
Yeah, but don't subtract anything for last week, please. So, howling winds. The skies are clear. You don't think that the weather will worsen, but you expect that it's going to be cold for the next 2 days. Are there any plans that you'd like to make, Jasir?
Great. Well, I think we can discuss quickly what we want to do here in the tavern. And then I actually already have a tent, so we're good in that regard. Maybe we want to buy some lumber and cart it around? Maybe make a fire with that?
I don't believe that we need to rest as a matter of course on our way to or from the dungeon.
Yeah, it seemed pretty short.
If I'm not mistaken, please correct me, anybody that knows better. But the other consideration is that it's in a heavily forested area. If I in real life can make a fire in that sort of weather, I think our seasoned adventurers probably should be able to.
So we should be good with the tent. Yeah.
Do we need a mule or anything, since we're not going to be able to recruit any hirelings? Is that something that would be available?
Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world.
Yeah.
Why
would we sit it?
Why?
Place?
𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖆𝖗 has a warhorse. You could purchase a mule. However, there are a couple of unique obstacles to that, given the weather right now. One is that no ostler is willing to follow you. The other thing is that it's unlikely that the mule would survive.
Yeah, we would have to be able to bring it indoors, and I'm not sure if there's really accommodation for that.
There are buildings outside if you want to explore the buildings. You haven't done that, but...
It's true.
well, you explored one of them.
I feel like it's warmer down in the dungeon, though.
Yes, but naturalistic animals won't dare venture down there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have as the expedition goal, correct me if I'm wrong, this was my understanding. You wanted to go back to Thracia, and return to the barred door, and find a way into the barred door to see what's past that. Do I have that right?
So the one with the sort of apparition of a woman that disappeared, that's the one I was talking about.
Okay.
If people are interested in that, that's where I was
Yeah.
thinking.
And
I think either could work, the upper lower entrance and the one with the bars.
okay. Remember that okay. In the case of if you find a new level, or if you with the one the other place, the place that the guy died, that you sent him in and he died, either of those two things, if you can tell me how to get there for the purpose of exploring that, it's not like some video game mechanic like Morrowind or something where you can just appear. That's not the point, right? But you can describe how to get there, because it's been mapped and cleared.
Important to remember for the party in our descriptions of how to get places. This first level of the dungeon is quite unique in that there are caverns which need a specific sequence of events to cross safely. Otherwise, we'll be beset by horrible monsters.
Yeah, I think it was the evil whistle of evil, something.
I believe I have it listed as evil whistle of evilness.
Evilness.
Yeah. Well, I think to get to the top entrance that goes further down, we would need to cross over the gap with the corpses and worms, and then the other way is the one that's blocked by the iron bars.
Can I clarify something? What's the evil whistle of whistlingness?
Yeah, so in order to cross various... So if you look in our Otherworld Lioness chats, Jehun posted a map most recently, and there's caverns in here, and at each one, I think at least 4 there is in the first level here, requires a special signal to be sent, which will offer a sacrifice to various chaotic bat creatures who, instead of going for us as we're trying to cross the cavern, will dive down after whatever is thrown off.
Is that the same thing that in the last session I played in that we witnessed the cult leader do in order to... So Nissa would like to point out that she didn't know it was a whistle. When he does this, she can't hear anything.
Mm-hmm. You've not been branded. Only those who are branded by the cult of Thanatos can hear the whistle. So I think Wyman can't hear it either. I think everybody else has the brand, if I'm not mistaken.
Seer doesn't, so he wouldn't hear it either.
Okay. Whoever's got the brand can hear it. And I got the brand, and I got the whistle, and I had a man on the inside teaching me how to use it. So we're all good for crossing safely without relying on the cult.
So are you then evil also?
Hard to say at this point. I haven't really come to any conclusions yet.
We're still in theory attempting to take over the cult, but I think we're waiting till we explore that one area where the guy died, the sacred area for it first, before we wipe them out.
I will say, between my magic user in Ross's game and Ross's magic user in my game, one of us has chaos points, and it's not 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖆𝖗. Just saying. But
need to.
I don't know if we need to do anything else if we have all the cold weather gear. We have a tent. Everyone's got assorted bedrolls and rations in an emergency, right? If we have to hunker down for the night, in case we get chased out by minotaurs again. So
it's really
you
a
remember
matter
the
of
way there?
yeah. If everyone's cool with going to the gated base, we can check that
Yeah.
out first.
I'm good with
All right.
That was the
Yeah.
barred door you spoke of?
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we might need to verify with the cult if they perhaps have a key or are able to lift it, or otherwise are okay with us breaking it down.
So just to clarify real quick before we start, we're at, even though we have the tent, we still have to add the extra 10 pounds for cold weather gear per person, right?
Yeah, that's like wearing furs and stuff.
All
to
right,
stay
cool.
warm.
That puts me at 50 and not 40.
Same.
Gotcha.
And that brings Jasir down to 9 movement with whoever else was that heavy.
You need somebody else to carry the tent? Does that add additional weight?
That doesn't actually add anything officially. I'm not sure if there's anything I can shed.
It does seem that you all are either way down to 9 movement,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so it sounds like there's not much else business that could be done here. The town is rather subdued given the weather. There's no one to hire or talk to much. So the night passes, and the morning of the 14th, Bobrog the 14th of Arok comes.
Question. Do we still have the one hireling who we had already retained? Is, I believe, she coming with us? So we have one.
Hold on. Come on. Man, takes a long time to get it. Okay. Yeah, her name is, and I believe she works specifically for Wymond, 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖊𝖗. If you wish to keep her in your service, Wymond, you may do so, and she agrees. She is loyal, and she will stay.
Never hurts to have another frontliner.
Would you
Yep.
like to do that?
Remind me, who is this person?
Well, you had 4 followers.
Yeah.
Three have, well, 1 fled, 2 perished. The remaining is a short, thin, young woman named Voldia.
Oh, right. You know, I got confused because remember when she died, but she did not die? I kind of forgot she was alive.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, she'll come.
All right.
You
Okay.
know, retcon her death.
The weather on the morning of the 14th, it is outside right now, minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. It is windy, except where the trees are. And the skies are perfectly crisp and clear and blue.
Okay. Well, if I remember correctly, we go north along the path several hours, and then we cut west.
Okay.
And we should be looking for, as we continue west, some kind of mountain valley.
Okay. Continue west, and then you see a mountain peak. And actually, the visibility is better today. Fix that.
Or north.
This takes the better part of the day in the cold to travel this far. It is now late afternoon.
This is my first time going or seeing this map, so I'll need a little help from you guys. Is this hut down there our destination, or
Yes, it's in a valley in between two mountain
Mhm.
peaks.
I'll also
So we
describe
wanna-
what you can see from here. That is several miles off in the distance. To the north behind you is just frozen wastes. Sometimes rocky. I can't remember what that's called. There's a term for it, but basically really gentle, tiny hills over and over again that are just rocky, and it's just frozen, and that goes on for miles just in the distance. From where you are, also to your northeast, miles away, you can see the north road that travels to Angemere, and to your southeast, the edge of the dark forest, which you had that you could see the tree line of, and then these mountains. And on the nearer side of the base of the mountains, about a couple miles in the distance, you can see ruined buildings in a valley.
Okay, so we want to head south towards those buildings.
Okay.
With the rest of our time.
Oops. You would, if you do that, you come in over here. The first thing that you see, actually, no, you wouldn't see that. There's a few ruined outlying buildings, mostly just stone walls at this point. The remains of an old road, mostly overgrown, but you can still make it out. And then a building here, and you can hear noises coming from it. Then a small outbuilding surrounded by trees. This is as far as you all have explored.
Do we have any interest in checking out the rest of these buildings?
I personally have an intense interest in checking out those buildings, but
Perhaps.
there's also other
Well,
places
they-
we haven't checked out.
What
Yeah.
about the one with the noise coming from it?
Right.
I believe that's up here with the various beasties, and it's like to the north
Minotaur.
in the middle. Yeah, the big boys,
And you guys
the
have run
ones
into
that
them
like
before?
killed everybody except for Wyman.
Probably want to avoid that one.
Yeah.
How
Maybe
many
we can
times
move
has
around.
Wyman been that guy? 3 times, 4 times now?
Perhaps we can move towards this building. Hang on, where's the? I can't do it, but towards the northeast.
Okay. To the northeast, there are some ruined walls and a road. This is a tree. Blocks your sight on the other side. Or do you mean to the northwest? Do you mean this larger building that you can hear growling sounds from?
No, northeast. Avoiding that, more towards the ruined building to the.
Oh, I see. You're going to try to sneak? Is that the goal?
Yeah, we're gonna move around the beasts, I believe.
You're able to do that by moving through the trees, keeping your line of sight broken from that main building. You're confident that no one sees you.
Excellent.
All right. I'm going to move you further up because there's nothing much to see here yet, but I'm assuming you're trying to stay hidden.
Yes, let's continue north while staying hidden, and we're just looking for any interesting structures.
Okay. So, the road begins to give way, and you see a couple things of interest from where you are. One thing is, what was once a building, its walls now down to the knee height in places have collapsed, is also a building that is like a pier, and it goes out over this lake. The lake is frozen in places, but in other places, the ice is broken. Like in 4 or 5 different places, there are fractures and cracks and holes where it's liquid and the ice has been broken. Then north of there is another building. It's small, like the one surrounded by trees. In front of it is a clearing of waste, of just briar and waste plants, wasteland that probably used to be part of the road of whatever grand village this once was.
Are we interested in this building to the west? I can't, man, near the lake. Actually, we can check out both buildings if we head that way. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's head to the west.
Okay. You remain undetected, and you make it. Let me get rid of this. Whoops. It overlooks this this icy lake, and Jasir, roll a d6, please.
Oops. +1. Should do it. Oh, I don't think that's good.
No. Okay. This is for a spear. Jasir, you take 3 points of damage. Jasir, you take 3 points of damage, and you see Jasir yell out as a crude, jagged, improvised thing of wood covered in evil-looking fetishes and things. It whistles through the air and it strikes you in your armor or in your shoulder. And you see Jasir go to a knee, and then spears like that just whistle over your head. Some of them strike into the trees, and then you hear a splash, several splashes. And whatever threw those things goes back down into the water. What do you do?
I don't think we want to pursue that in there, so
No.
let's back off
Yeah, retreat off the pier.
towards
Good news
towards
is,
the cover of trees.
doing that, not a lot of noise was created.
So did they retreat back through those broken holes you had already described in the ice?
Yes.
Did we get
Before
any?
we get too far away from it, what is the north face of this wall, or maybe that's the west face of this wall? Is that an intact wall? Is there
That is
potential?
that's an intact wall and building. It's the same one that has the noises coming from it from the south side.
Yeah, I just wanted to know the integrity, like the structural integrity of that side of the building.
Yeah.
Same with the side that we came up on this over here on the east side of this building.
Yes, except in places, in most of the ceiling has caved in.
Right. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Is this another road up here, further to the north? This like little, there's this dirt patch, and then this looks like some more
That's-
man-made structure.
Yes, it looks
Yeah.
like maybe the road continues on, but you see there's a couple of ruined walls further north. Otherwise, there do not seem to be any other buildings to the north. Thracia seems to come to an end there.
Did we get any look at any features of whatever threw the spears at us, or is it completely mysterious what attacked us?
Well, you have a spear. So rip that out of your flesh and
Any scaly arms or anything of that nature?
yes, in fact, it looks like there's little fetishes that have been carved from stone, maybe bone, something else, and they do look like it looks like looks like somebody's carved a lizard humanoid with a tail that comes out from its back. It's carved, and then the only unique feature that would make this not seem to be a lizard person is that it has horns.
Does anyone want a spear? I guess we will move cautiously to the... Well, how far away is that actually? Can we hear anything coming from the north? Sort of want to check out this building to the north and then get a little bit behind it to see what's back there.
Let's see. You hear rustling noises coming from the building. They're small rustling noises. They sound like they're coming from the walls. The building is overgrown. Weeds and briar and shrubs have invaded, just taken over the sides of the building, and the inside is cast in darkness.
Well, how do we feel about checking it out?
I like that.
Just in case, maybe we should have a lantern or torch or something if it is dark in there to have that lit up.
Okay.
I can light a torch.
A lantern might be better just so it can be relatively hooded until we get there if we have one.
The walls are stone. In places where it may have caved in, it's covered in overgrowth. It still has an intact ceiling, although trees loom over it. The entrance, the door has long been taken off, and you can see the remains of a cobblestone floor inside.
Okay.
What do you do?
Let's go
How
ahead.
tall is this building?
It's about 10 feet tall.
Okay.
So, okay.
Let's move towards the entrance.
Roll a d6.
So did someone have a lantern that they lit?
Yeah, presuming that someone lit a lantern, which someone has, correct? Or because just see it as night.
Yeah, I have a bullseye lantern. I'll light it.
Okay. And you said D6, Ross?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh.
better than me last week or 2 weeks ago. For those of you
Man.
who weren't here.
That's bad. Bad.
Uh-oh.
We've been tighter scrapes.
Okay, that's good, I guess. I think that
I rolled 3 ones in a row 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We lived.
Some of us do.
You are both surprised by what you see in here. And actually, that makes sense. I probably should have ruled that, but that worked out. Very good news. Here. As you approach the entrance and you light a torch and you shine it inside, all of a sudden, the ceilings and the walls erupt with these huge, leathery, winged creatures with long, pointy snouts, and they whip past you into the air, and immediately dive toward lighting on another vacant building where they can hide, terrified by you. Inside of the building, there is a corpse, long rotted and decayed, portions of its skull showing, a tablet on its body.
All right. Let's go and examine that corpse.
Okay.
I'll have a holy water ready just in case.
You just take a look at the...
If you need a volunteer to touch the tablet, I have an idea.
Oh, you
Go
really
for it.
hate your character, huh?
I'm just saying, if you need a volunteer, Mazwick is always interested in arcane secrets, and those things are usually presented on tablets.
Okay.
By all means.
Does anyone speak Dwarvish or Thracian?
No.
I think...
I have a
No.
chance to speak like the local
I speak Dwarvish.
Greek language.
Sparrow, you speak Dwarvish?
Yes, Spyro speaks Dwarvish.
Oh. Yeah, I think... well, let's start with Mazwick, since he has that. What is the chance that you do it? Is it 30% or something?
65%.
Roll that. Let's see if you get it.
I rolled a 2.
You, because this is simple, and because you think it may take some time anyways, this is some ancient adventurer who did not get far. He details his experience in the outside of this place before he was poisoned. And it seems that this has been the status quo here for some time. There are lizard men, there are beast men. He calls them something like what would be a word for this? It's an ancient word for like, basically these people are evil. So it's not just like they're beast men, or it's like it'd be like Philistines or something like that. It's like these people here are like evil, but he's clearly referring to the beast men in that. And then separate from that, he mentions lizard men, and then other than that, he mentions the worshippers of the Dark One. Of those, he was trying to find his way into Thracia and failed. But he says what you already know, but you now have the record of it here, that there's the main way down, which is occupied by the Minotaur, and then you have the secret way down, which is the small outbuilding. And he knows of no other ways down except through the dark, the depths by which only the lizard men can travel. Lastly, he has in directions to a secret area below, which it will take you time to try to figure out anyways. You're not going to be able to do that just like here looking at it.
It's certainly something we can bring back to the Bloody Bowl.
Yeah, given time, 𝕬𝖃𝖋𝖍𝖈, you will be able to determine this, and it will work like a map. I'll literally give you a map.
What about the belongings on the dwarf? Is there anything interesting that he previously possessed?
There may have been some a long time ago, but this is just a body with a stone on it now. A corpse. Mostly a skeleton.
Anything else interesting in the room?
No.
All right. I think we had cautiously head our way back out. Oh, go ahead.
Anything uninteresting in the room, Ross?
Sure. Let's see. The walls are invaded via the stone in places with the vine and the roots of shrubs, and where it has been invaded and the stone has been burst through with plant life, the stones have slowly given way in a mix of both stonework and soil. There is also a bunch of feces in here, and things carried in and bits of bone. So, where do you want to go next, Jasir?
I was thinking we could wrap our way around the building to the what would be the top on the map.
Okay. You keep your torch lit?
I think we can. Yeah, I think we can extinguish it for now.
Okay.
Let's see.
The ruins end to the north. Beyond there is not Thracia, but the overgrown woods at the base of whatever this mountain is that's about 2 miles ahead.
We see any structures or anything built on the mountainside? Any caves or anything like that?
No. Not on this, not on this side.
What about to the west? Let's maneuver around the tree that's blocking our line of sight just a little bit there.
Okay.
Okay, just more ruined buildings.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring you up here. I won't penalize you for the distance for that. This water course continues to the northwest along the valley. It eventually becomes just a swamp. Or it's fair to say, actually, this is just a swamp where the swamp meets this what used to be this village. It's frozen over right now. But as you look on into the valley to the northwest, that's kind of what that is a swamp. And then the ruins end. From here, if you were to continue to the northwest, you'd be exploring that valley.
It could be interesting if we wanted to check it out. I don't remember any other buildings being down to the south. I think we pretty much cleared that out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's continue the northwest along that valley.
Okay.
And see if there's anything interesting.
At this point, It gets dark. Probably only have a few hours before the sun is gone. Temperatures drop another 20 degrees. As you travel for a couple of hours, you can see that this valley continues on. This seems to be a series of mountain ranges. The sides of the mountains range from so steep that you would need ropes and pythons and stuff to like scree that would be rough but that you could clamber. This continues on for about 4 miles to the west.
And are we at the point now where it's too dark to travel and we pretty much want to set up camp?
I think.
Because I would be looking for wherever the wind's coming from, we want to have shelter against that.
It's
As
possible, but likely inadvisable to seek shelter with the cult of Thanatos. Whether or not that's a safe place to be is sort of up in the air, but I know Sparrow and Madwick have stayed there for at least a week at a time. Although I'm not sure they would let people who don't have the mark stay, and I'm not sure the people who don't have the mark would want to stay. Just a suggestion.
I think that it's probably like if it was -10 when we started, and that was in the morning while the sun was up. Like, I think even with the cold weather stuff that we have, it's super possible that we might really take some like serious hit staying outside. Just something to think about. Not that it would necessarily be a bad option, but
presumably if we have both shelter through a tent and heat through a sustainable fire, it shouldn't be dangerous.
we need to gather wood and stuff before dark.
Yeah.
This joystick out of the way.
Because if we
I mean,
gotta do that when it's dark, that's probably going to be a problem.
I would expect in a heavily wooded area it would not be difficult. Plus, we have the added benefit. I mean, if you have torches, that's already like wood. You have a fire starter. We have a tinderbox. I have a tinderbox. We all have oil. So
yeah.
As far as sourcing wood, I'm sure it wouldn't be that bad of a thing. And we've
That's
got
cool, just thinking out loud.
7 dudes here. I don't know. I'm just using myself as a metric. I'm not a very, very good outdoorsman. I've only done I've not done like an actual overnight, completely, like barren. I'm not bringing a tent or anything like that, or firewood from the outside. But I could probably source a couple hours firewood in half an hour on my own.
Okay.
Aha. Yes. These are the mountains of Telgran. Continuing south from here, you would be exploring the wilds of the island. Now, some things which you can choose to do. It is extremely cold. You are on foot. Wilderness encounters can be 5 to 10 times larger and of higher challenge rating than in dungeons. But, just I think a good sample, if I can I'm not going to tell like a war story, but I think Reverend Christopher was there for this. I can't remember. I think he was. At one point they wanted to do this. And I thought this was a perfect example. This is kind of how this goes. They started traveling to the west in exploration. During the night, a rock, which is what I rolled as the random encounter, literally took a guy and snatched him and took him to his nest. That guy did not survive. However, they did find the rock's nest, and they had a unreasonable number of mercenaries with them, and they killed a rock and a baby rock, and they found all the adventurers and all the treasure the rock had taken. So they got like a bunch of money. I think a bunch of them died, but like there was a cleric that could raise the dead with them by that point.
I wasn't there for that.
Yeah. So this is if we're doing wilderness exploration, we can do it. But I warn you, it is deadly, and but you can do it. And also, the winter, you cannot heal, so you will be at whatever your hit points are. So long as you can either start a fire, though, if you start a fire in the night, things will see you. But you will also not lose hit points.
Can we get any kind of sense what the weather will be like tonight? Is it going to be overcast, with the winter, or do you have any idea?
Great question. The winds, I think, are what tells you about that. The winds are dying down. That tells you, hopefully, precipitation will not come, and the skies are not overcast. So with no clouds and no wind, you hope. A sailor's hope that there will not be precipitation, or that the temperatures would drop further with ice. If you do get caught out here, it is possible for the temperatures to drop to a point where it can be deadly. But maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
How far... I would ask Mazlik, how far are we from the cult entrance? Would we be able to make it at this point tonight?
That's a really good question. The cult entrance is right where the other entrance is. I don't know how far we've traveled since then. If this is a representative distance here, 4 miles away is just what the map says. I don't know if that's.
That is perfectly accurate.
Okay. If it's already getting dark, I would hazard that it's probably, especially considering like we don't know if it's safe to sleep in a dungeon, necessarily. I would suggest that we should make camp away from where a known monster lair is, a known minotaur and group of gnolls is. I don't know if it's necessarily any safer, but at the very least, at the very least, we've got some distance between us and a confirmed minotaur sighting.
I don't remember us having cleared, like, there's no room we could barricade ourselves into for rest, that I recall. So, yeah. Okay.
I think even still, like, it's definitely not my hill to die on. I'll go with the group consensus, but I think we're probably going to be better off if we sleep in the dungeon. That's just me.
Let me throw out more conventions. No, you cannot sleep in a dungeon. If you sleep in a dungeon, the cult will decide that you're theirs. If you are no longer a guest, if you're with them, you're us now. What you can do, you can join the cult. It'll be a very different game.
Never mind.
I think technically us joining the cult.
Now, there's one exception
would go against
that has come up, which sometimes the underworld is vast enough to have a settlement. That sometimes happens. But generally speaking, if you're in the dungeon and you don't have a clear way out and you don't know how to get out, you just die. Your characters are dead. If you cannot make it out of the dungeon, that's a one-way thing. Yeah.
Well, while we were checking out the building that had the dead adventurer in it, was there anything we saw that we could use to secure that building? We know that not far from there are the lizard men, but
some sort of other thing is nesting, but we could try to block it.
Yeah, I really wouldn't rely on it. Even if we could fortify it in some way, there is a group of lizard men not 20 feet away, and then not 40 feet away is, again, a minotaur and a pack of gnolls who we've proven we cannot fight.
Don't feel like this. So if anybody has any additional ideas, like good idea, like as far as barricading in the dungeon, other people totally rule that differently, right? So I'm just presenting a convention that I always, the underworld is a living entity. It wants to devour you and kill you. In case you don't know, the act like it has a will and it wants to kill you. So, but that's not everybody's interpretation of that. So I wanted to convey that. So good idea. So don't let this prevent any ideas. Let me frame some options. Let's vote. Option number 1. Bad option, in my opinion, because you guys still have time to adventure, explore, get treasure. You could just go back to town. Convention for that, adventure ends for the night. Option 2, you could go back to an overland site, which is, to kind of gamify it, Reverend Christopher, it's a lair, a monster lair. And I'm not going to apply the underworld rule to that. Like you can attempt to barricade. Reverend Christopher is correct. There are monsters nearby. So you will have, as time passes, a chance for monsters to sniff around your lair all night long. Option 3, you can attempt to sleep out here. Downside to that, you do not gain the benefits of sleeping. So like you could barricade that building and he could heal a hit point, for whatever that's worth. But you out here, you cannot do that. And also I will roll for an overland encounter. Is going to be the encounter roll instead of what I have for Thracia. So let's go around the table and vote. Jasir, which one would you like to do? Or do you have any other?
Overland sounds like the best option to me.
All right. And go down the list here. Nissa.
I vote for Overland.
Very well. 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖶𝖊𝖗.
Bedding down right here, right now. I don't think we have the movement to really get back to anywhere before it starts getting really dark and dangerous.
Sparrow.
My vote would be at the Overland lair.
All right. Hans.
I say Overland. I don't want to go back to town. I don't want to see the adventure just end. So I would say Overland. Try to get back if we can, and see what happens.
Okay. Wyman.
Overland.
Okay. So you all went to camp here. Is that right? When you say Overland? Okay.
That's
my understanding, yes.
Okay. Also, I need a thing for this.
So we'll spend time gathering firewood, set up the tent. Find a good...
If you ever need to gather firewood in wet or cold conditions, look for dead standing trees. Things that have fallen over or are on the ground will absorb a lot of moisture, but things which have been standing or off the ground will be relatively dry.
I love it when you guys throw me a curveball and I have to like get out. Where's my book for that? I have to like do that. That's fun. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know if I told this story in the Friday night games beforehand. I think I did in the Monday night, but in our Gunderhofen game, when Ross was caller, he just decided to go, no, let's just do a bunch of exploring around the overworld. And I had to go on Drive-Thru-RPG and purchase an add-on module.
You didn't have
to. The module.
But you
but
did.
I did. I'm like buying it on Drive-Thru-RPG and downloading it as Ross. Like, ooh, what's this over here? I was like, that's a great question. Let's find out together.
Emergency content.
Oh man, I have a Mythmere games thing for this, so I have a chance to use it now. I used to have to do something more janky for this, but now I have a Mythmere thing, so I'm excited. So, anyways, go ahead. I almost have it.
My bank account hates Drive-Thru-RPG so much.
Yeah. Clear.
This is an amazing hobby for many reasons, but one of which is that there's nothing that I've purchased off Drive-Thru-RPG or been interested in that I've thought was too expensive. On the contrary, there's a lot that I've thought was quite cheap. I mean, there's a lot of content on there that's just pay what you want or free, which is I think is a sign of a good community.
It's so cool. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, it is cool. I really like this kind of online thing we do because you can find like exactly the player that's like, I want to play Caverns of Thracia. Swords and, you know what I mean? Like, if you had to do that in your hometown, it'd be not impossible, but not exactly easy.
Oh
So,
yeah, Spokane only wants to play 5e, so
yeah.
I think most people just be like, "What? What's that?"
Indeed.
Ross, you mentioned it actually
Something
pretty much is
happens.
impossible.
Something happens.
Uh-oh.
Observe. You fools! You've chosen this fate for yourselves. Let's see here.
Oh, no.
Let me see if they have a token for this. I get to pull out OD&D and the book for it and everything. Oh man, I get to do everything. In the night. Let me wait. Did it not come on? Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit discombobulated.
People are me excited.
We said we went back to town, right?
No. Oh, right.
I could have sworn.
Yeah,
second
man.
there.
I don't know what's happening.
Gosh, I was excited, but now I have to reload this page, and I want to.
oh, so that means you have to re-roll, right?
That sounds right.
The digital equivalent of cocked die.
I bet they don't even have this. I bet I don't even have a. All right, I'm just gonna put down a token because I don't have one. This is not what this is. And bigger.
You need the sorry pawns that Richard has.
And the wind not work. It doesn't work. Okay. That's. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay, I got the music going. Okay. Also, it's dark. And we have a campfire. Who is on the 2 a.m. watch? I'll just pick. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This will be Sparrow. Quite fitting. And I also have to Sparrow. While you're on watch near the campfire, your bleary, tired eyes look in the distance, and you think you see an old stone tower. And then you think, no, that must be part of the nearby hillside. Everything here is stones and rocks, and it is almost hard to tell the layers of history, what is a building and what is a mountain or a hill. It is all just sort of crumbled in time. But then something begins to approach, a figure. And it is a someone in a robe, concealing their face. And let me get the OD&D rule I need for this.
I think I will shake awake the nearest person to me.
It's not. You can't do that yet. But you can do it in a minute. You can do it in a minute.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm catching up. Let's see. Okay. The figure approaches you, and roll a d100. Was that a 19?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
1 in 100.
He just says, 12 men walk by. 12 what would it be? Actually, give me a second. No, it's stupid. He says, what is it that you can keep when you need it not, but throw away when you no longer need it? You have 5 seconds.
12 men. What's something you can throw away but you keep? Your shadow.
No. No. It's, what is it that you can keep when you need it not, you throw away when you do need it?
I'm going to answer my pride.
You failed. And so, make a saving throw.
Okay. Sparrow does not know riddles.
No.
That would be a failure.
Oof.
You must seek one of the swords beneath the sea, for my spirit to rest again. I come again at the end of the season. You are overwhelmingly compelled, and you have an image in your mind of where you must go as he turns and leaves in the dark. That all happens before they can wake up.
Does this apply to all of us, or is this a sparrow thing?
No, it's a sparrow thing. You
Wait,
are asleep.
actually, this is a spell, I presume, right?
Yes.
Okay, I do have a +2 bonus on saving throws against spells, so I would actually pass.
Oh, okay. Does that count for this spell? Let me see. EDFG. Yep. Saving throw cancels.
I tremble for the day that Magnus gets geese.
There you go. You pass. You find an alien wheel pressing on your mind, but you press back, and then the figure fades. Perhaps a apparition or a projection, you do not know.
Okay. Okay, so I presume I don't actually get the message about like a location or anything. I just
Oh no,
see the
you
figure
get all
fade.
that.
Oh, I still get that. I'm just
You
not
get
compelled.
that, but you're not compelled.
Okay. Well, I'll kind of look in the distance where I kind of saw like the tower and see if I can like make it out clearer now.
There is a tower over there.
As far as they like mutter under breath. I can't believe we didn't notice this before we went to sleep. And then shake the nearest person awake.
Is the tower the direction from whence the apparition came?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah, I'll in order,
where's-
I guess I'll do the nearest person, and then second I'll think to awaken Maswick, my fellow magic user.
What? You're making things up.
I'll point and say he came from over there, ghostly projection. I can see it in my mind where it wanted us to go.
But it didn't want you to go to the tower.
Yeah, it wanted us to go to a location. What did it say? Beneath the sea or beneath the city?
Beneath the sea. In fact,
Okay.
you have in your mind the idea that magics exist by which you could travel beneath the sea. And there on the seabed amongst many ruined and sunken ships off the coast of Anjamar, is a black blade, whispering in Drunic. You get a headache just by trying to remember the image in your mind.
I kind of like grunt and, get the information out to relay it to Mazik.
A black blade of chaos beneath the sea, you say?
It seems so, and it seems a mage looking for it.
I'll need to do some research.
Okay. So, and with that, the sun rises the next day. And let's see. Where would you like to go?
So let's head back east and get back to the caverns of
Well,
Thracia.
hold on. First things first. Is there a tower?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a tower. Let me
Distance.
zoom in here and put a little tower here. Let's see here. A little tower.
And how confident are we that it wasn't there when we bedded down for the evening last night?
There are things like this everywhere. It is hard to tell the difference between an old tower surrounded by rugged trees and just another hill or a rocky outcropping. This place is full of stuff like that. And it is out in the distance, about 2 or 3 miles away. Like that big right now.
Do we want to check it out, or do we feel like that's a bad idea right now?
Nah, I'm still not convinced it's the tower.
I think we should check it out.
I think.
Well, all right, if you insist.
I think we know what's inside of it. It seems to be a mage. The spirit I saw came from that direction.
Do we intend to do its quest, or what's our intention with it?
I mean, its quest does seem interesting. Whether we deliver the blade to it or whether we keep it for ourselves.
Right. And since we don't have anything to deliver to it right now, it's kind of, we would just be showing up and being like, hello, we saw you last night.
Yeah.
But we could still check it out if we want.
There might be cool stuff in there.
Okay, sounds like
Yeah.
that's what everybody wants to go check out the tower, right?
Yep. Let's
All right.
travel south.
You had me at cool stuff.
We could put off getting slaughtered by the cult for one more day and get slaughtered by something else.
What's more fun? The slaughtering you know, or the slaughtering that takes you by surprise?
Go to tower here. Old, rugged, jagged tower like the Tower of the Witch King. And let's see here. How do you approach this tower as you get closer? From what you can see,
Respectfully.
it's overgrown around it. You probably have to get within a mile of it before you can see anything more specific than that. Oh, never mind. You don't have to do that. Let's see. There are 3Ds. chance. Okay, how would I know that? I'm gonna put it as this. Oh, you are so lucky. Dang it.
That's true.
Dang it, I wish that it... come on. Okay. It's just an army of... what is that? 6? Yeah, he did an 80. It's 80 soldiers, all of whom wear black helms. They march, and they... there are some on the hillsides around you. You can see that they have crossbows as you approach. You enter within range of their crossbows, though they will be at -4 if you attempt to flee. Marching up from the tower is this hooded figure that Sparrow, or this cloaked figure that Sparrow would recognize, and with him are 80 men-at-arms in black armor, and their faces hidden by helms.
I'm ready to cast Charm Person at any time. Just say the word.
If you want to give it a shot, but we might want to have him talk to him first. Sparrow, because that's who we interacted with previously. And
Like I
inquire.
said, just let me know.
Okay. Do you wait for him to approach, or do you attempt to flee? I guess that's some things. Like, what do you want to try to do?
Do I have a chance?
You go
Do I have a
first.
chance to like duck off into the woods at the side and just kind of conceal myself?
Yeah, go ahead and make your check for that.
Okay.
It may not come into play. You can reasonably hidden, but it's that the check will come into play if they try to find you. But anyways, yeah. And are you guys gonna wait for him?
Oh, how about that?
Oh wow, there you go. Yeah, you're assuredly hidden, whether they seek you or not.
I reckon we should try to parlay.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So he comes up, and he states without any ceremony or pretense, he points toward Jasir, and he says, "You have heard of the blade now, and so you must answer. Make a save. You can only do this once a day, so."
What I do too. I don't know why I did too. Let me do it again because I got the wrong number.
Oh, you can do it. It's 14. That passes, right? You don't have to take that.
Yeah.
14 pass?
14, my saving throw might not. Nope, 15. Does not pass.
That does not pass. You must answer for the blade. You have until the end of this season and the start of the next. What is this? This is currently, is it still Dark and Tide?
A-Rock.
Yeah, the season as a whole of A-Rock, so then the next one, so this is Light's Tide, next would be Adventure Tide, right? So, yeah, he says, you have until Adventure Tide.
Surely, Master Mage, Adventure Time would be a better time to seek this sword. I mean, the depths of the waters which house the blackened blade cannot be traversed in this cold.
They can only be traversed by magic, which you must find. You have until then.
I'll say to him, I was one who you visited last night. Do I presume that if we bring you the blade, there will be great reward?
He chuckles. Yes. I will ensure a great reward for you.
Well, don't worry,
Is it
guys.
going to be eternal servitude? Be honest. Be honest with us up front. Like, we're going to do it anyway, but, like, come on.
I had
Yeah,
assumed.
are you gonna kill us with the black plate?
I had assumed an item of great power is what you would prefer.
That does
Yeah.
sound preferable.
We would prefer that. Is it gonna be that, or is it gonna be eternal servitude?
By Adventure Tide, bring the Black Blade here again, or you will perish. And he points only at Jasir, and provides no answer, and twirls on his heels and heads off, his cloak twirling in the icy winds. It is, by the way, horribly cold today, minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit, and the winds are picking up. That means within the next day or two, weather is coming. And his soldiers march off with him back to the tower.
Well, we've got no answers to what was in the tower.
Yep.
Better go find that sword just here.
Yep. First, you have to find the magic.
Yes. Okay. What do you do next?
Get Magnus down here. Or up here, whatever the case may be. Well,
Can Magnus do that? He can't do like water breathing.
No, he does not have water breathing.
Only
Polymorph to turn you into a fish.
That's
Just
true.
polymorph to turn you into a fish. You could travel to Albion. I would insist that you pay money. I'm not kidding.
That would be a cool crossover event, though.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm serious. I'm saying
That'd be
go
neat.
go and pay Father 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖵 or Magnus for a spell and have him polymorph you into a fish man. I don't care.
That'd be awesome, actually. Hold on.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
You could actually do the cold weather during that too, I think, because you could survive better as a fish.
Yeah, I will say right now it takes 2 weeks to get there. So your character could make it there and back, but then what would the other characters do? How would they do that? I don't know. Maybe you could hire people and pay for them to also be fish people, and then you could play Jasir in like a month with a group of fish people and have an underwater adventure. We can hash this out probably pretty soonish, because if you're going to do this the old-fashioned way, you probably got to get cracking, depending on how much you all care about Jasir.
I'm here
Well-
for that, no matter what happens.
A little, if at all.
The mage mentioned finding magic to make our way down. Did the vision happen to give any guidelines for like out of some kind of place to gain some kind of magic to go downwards?
No, he expects you to figure that out and find the magic.
Okay, I see.
Jasir, you had the same vision that Sparrow did. Now you have an overwhelming compulsion. It's clear to you. You can feel it growing like a cancer in your soul. It will consume you and make you into one of his servants if you fail.
Like that. Well,
Okay, what next? Where are we going?
I think we're going back to the east at this point,
Okay.
towards whichever entrance 𝕬𝖃𝖋 knows of into the cult's route into the underworld.
Yes. I think I only have like 3 charmed dudes left? 4 maybe?
Yeah, I think I remember it was
I had
Maybe
7 and 3 of them died.
Yeah.
Which of the 2 buildings do you want to go into?
The stone outbuilding to the southwest of the main building,
Okay.
avoiding minotaur gazes and such.
Okay. You hear something different. There is a obvious battle going on in this building right now.
I say that we should go investigate that. That would be
Yes.
my vote. If the cult and the minotaurs are fighting,
especially if we
it's a
hear
third party.
Yeah, especially if we hear any human voices.
As you get closer, you hear beastly voices. It's clear that there are no humans amongst them that are fighting.
Ooh.
Perhaps try to get a peek, but don't get too close.
Okay.
Does anyone feel comfortable with their, what is it, hide in shadows, hide in...
I do.
Yeah.
Don't call me Mazwick the
You
camouflaged for nothing.
want to attempt to do that, Nissa? This will only come into play if if something goes badly.
Does Charm Person work on beasts, then?
Hard to say.
No.
No, we talked about this with the gnolls. It only works
Work on
if
a
they
gnoll?
can speak common.
No,
Right,
so
right.
so charming them works if they can't speak common, but you can't really do anything with them.
True. Okay, yeah.
Okay. It's clear that you're noticed. You failed to sneak up to them. However, they are locked in deadly combat. These lizard men are fighting this minotaur who is like picking them up, throwing lizard people up against the wall. You can hear their spines snap as they crash against stone. The stone splinters. Despite outnumbering them, this minotaur is just ripping them apart.
And the gnolls are on the Minotaur side.
Yes, that's right. Shall I get out my chart here and figure out what happens? Or do you want to, I guess, what is it that you want to do with this situation? They are not pursuing you yet, but depending on what happens, they know you're here now.
I was going to suggest trying to charm one of the gnolls and turn the tide against the Minotaur, because I feel more confident that we can root out a lizardman foe than a massive, like, 6 hit die creature or whatever.
What do you all think about that?
Mhm.
That's
I
cool.
like that idea.
Yeah.
I do too.
What spell does Sparrow have prepared?
Sleep.
I think I don't know how many hit die a Minotaur has, but if you want to try casting that and at least putting the other gnolls to sleep, yeah, if he's got 4, if he's got less than 5, you could put him to sleep.
Or alternatively, we put all the moles to sleep, which would still be
Right.
somehow.
So I don't know if we've talked about this yet, Ross, but my understanding of the sleep spell is that creatures of hit die 5 or more are unaffected.
That's right.
Okay. And again, I don't know what on a gamified space how much hit die a Minotaur has, especially if like this is not a standard Minotaur. But worst comes to worst, the other gnolls go to sleep, and it's just the Minotaur versus the.
Yeah. See, I was thinking using it nearer to the end of the fight to just take out all the riffraff that's left over.
Not a bad idea.
Because we don't know how this is gonna end up,
Right. Not a bad idea at all, actually. So yeah, so I'm going to cast Charm Person on one of these gnolls. Or declare casting Charm Person. Yeah, actually that's a good idea. I would say save it, because if the tide is turning with just like the one gnoll and the lizard men and everything like that, then just wait until there's a clear victor. And
5, 6, 7, 8.
And those are our only 2 spellcasters, right? Just the 2 of you. So
Yes.
no other spells to declare? Yeah.
Wyman's got some magic of his own, but it's
little chainmail here. Minute. Oof. Oof. Yeah, this Minotaur. It's clear to you that this Minotaur is quickly going to win, and it's not even going to be a contest. He is just absolutely just slaughtering them. Okay, So that's what happens in one round. Is most of the lizard men are instantly slain, and then one of the gnolls and the minotaur is wounded a little bit. Okay, and then what were you going to try to do?
If we can make a decision after that round, I actually say we should flee. If most of the lizardmen are dead,
Yeah.
I had overestimated the numbers of lizardmen.
Okay.
Or capacity.
If you flee now, you're confident that you can do that. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my vote.
Yeah, that's my vote as well.
I mean, if we get down to the cult fast enough, maybe we'd be like, guys, there's fighting up there. The Minotaur's seriously weakened. We gotta go. Go get him. And just like,
I mean, I still have wolfbane poison. I wonder if we could leave poison meat out. Try that again.
Okay. You go down into the outbuilding, and there's stairs that go down for a long ways. You see and hear no one at the end of the stairs. What do you
We
do?
will
And
continue
do you use a
to descend.
lantern?
yeah, I'll light up my lantern.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
At this point, one of your oil flasks will have been used, unless you've been tracking it.
I subtracted an oil flask when I lit it up earlier in the
Oh
session.
no, then you're good. Okay,
Okay.
that's actually a great way to do it. Okay. Sorry, what were you saying? Just here.
So yes, once the lantern is lit, we will continue to descend.
Okay.
And keep a lookout for the cult members.
You make it to the wooden bridge and the great chasm, and there's no sign of them, except you think you hear clamor echoing far off in the distance.
I'd like to use my chaotic whistle of chaos to send the signal that sends the bat demons hurtling into the chasm.
You guys want to keep going? Is that, and then you do that thing?
We'll have him do that first before we get on the bridge.
Something interesting happens. Whatever alcove by which a body is... No, that's not right. That's not how they do it. Yes, that works. A cadaver collapses from an alcove, and these things appear, and they swoop down. 5 of them do.
I vote that we should go straight across and investigate the clamor before moving on to the bard woman.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Agreed.
Okay. Yeah, when you make it to the sanctuary, there's no one here. And the sounds of clamor grow louder somewhere beyond this chasm.
Let's continue in that direction.
We should make a whistle before approaching this bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
A cadaver
This has fooled us
falls, and
once.
in this case, there are 6, 8. There are about 12 or so of these things that just erupt from the walls and the ceiling, and they just swoop down towards this thing that falls into the chasm.
Then we continue north.
Okay.
Yeah, well, getting closer to their storeroom.
At this point, by the time you get here, the clamor is quite loud. It is obviously the sound of battle. It is somewhere in the halls beyond. Here is an acolyte and 2 guards, their weapons raised, and the acolyte sees you, one of the remaining the one remaining acolyte, and he says, "Champions, we're being tested. This may be the end. Perhaps we have failed. Perhaps you have failed."
Are either of these guards men that I have charmed?
That is a good question. Yes.
I have 4 remaining.
One of them is.
Okay. If it pleases the group, I would like to cast Charm Person on the Acolyte.
Okay.
I warn you, if you fail, you will know. Okay.
So just to reveal to sort of out of character what my plan here is, if we can charm this acolyte, we'll. My plan was to send them into the fray over there, get in, steal all their stuff. If it fails, I think we just kill these guys, get in, steal all their stuff.
I
I think we should
agree.
go steal their stuff. Is what I'm
So I
suggesting.
think so. These chests are their stuff, right? And then we know there was a jail beyond, I believe.
Yes. So the other option is if I can charm this acolyte and we send them over, we could go with them and have them execute our coup in the midst of the chaos.
Well, I think it would be good to know what is going on before we make a decision.
By what do you mean that we have failed?
caller.
What is happening?
The hated lizard peoples from below have erupted. One of the walls has collapsed from the lower levels. They've clawed their way up from beneath. And now they siege our bridge of meat and of death that we have built as an altar to the Dark One. They desecrate it.
Wait, that could also be a good use for sleep.
Yeah, I think here's my proposal for a plan. We have about an hour left. I try to charm the acolyte. If that fails, we bonk these guys on the head, steal their stuff, and then go over. And then either depending on how the fighting looks, we'll decide our allegiances there.
Yes.
If I succeed, we send them to the fray and go with them and execute our coup with assistance. Or I guess depending on our allegiances there.
Yeah,
We should
I think-
probably also steal their stuff.
Is it worth trying to execute a coup if it results in us getting overrun by lizard men?
My thought regarding this is that there's one acolyte left and the priest Bailing Twine or whatever his name is, and he's got like hella magics. I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly what kind of magics he's
He's
got.
pretty powerful, it
He's
seems, because
pretty darn powerful.
he's been the main force keeping them, like, as a major player in the region.
Right. And so I think that if we can knock him out, I don't know the force of the lizardmen. I don't think anybody here does. I have reason to believe that they're probably generally less powerful than the priests. And so if we can tip that scale and put the whole area into disarray, my reasoning is that, like, if there's like a standoff going on in an area, it's generally because one faction has yet to be able to get a hold over the other, or there's other considerations. For example, I'm betting that this priest and these acolytes probably could wipe out the lizardmen, but the other prohibitive factor in that is that they just don't want to do that. They're content in their temple making their sacrifices and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they also might
I
need
thought we-
Elizabeth as a balancing with the Beastmen.
Yeah, I think we should just burn it down then. I like your idea.
I think charming's a good idea, and then we evaluate when we see what's actually happening.
So you're saying go figure out what's happening, then come back and charm, or charm and then figure out what's
I'm
happening?
fine with
and
charming beforehand. I think that's up to 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖐𝖊𝖗 discretion.
then- Right.
Correct.
to use
But I
discretion.
think before deciding whether we want to do a coup or not, we should see what's actually happening.
Okay. All right.
Right. So our plan is we will try to charm the acolyte. If it fails, we'll just take these guys out. If it succeeds, we will take them on our way to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
He utterly fails, and you see the
Yeah.
glimmer in his eyes that he knows now that you are the true. In fact, you were appointed by the Dark One for this very moment.
Brothers, quick! We must grab all the vestments from this area. Just grab all the tools that we can. This is us trying to loot real quick.
Okay.
One of them looks with hesitation, and then the acolyte says, "Listen to him, brother. It is obvious that the Dark One has appointed them for just such this time. And yes, we must take the ceremonial items out of here before it is too late."
I'm so glad this charm worked, man. I
I'm
love
gonna
it when a
stay
plan
really
comes together.
I'm going to stay really close to that uncharmed guard, kind of behind him. So if it looks like he decides that he wants to disrupt the whole thing, maybe I can stick a dagger in his back. So
That's clever.
He says, "Of course, chosen ones. It will take me some time to enact the ritual to ensure that the chests are safe. The Dark Patriarch put his blessing on them." He says,
How much time?
It'll take him 3 turns.
Okay. While we're doing that, do you guys want to check out the torture room?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the case. Jasir, roll a d6.
No.
What could that be?
You are surprised as you open the door, and nearby is a massive bear. Yeah. Roll, declare spells and actions.
Maswell, quick, charm him and give him a robe.
Fresh out.
I don't suppose we can reclose the door.
You could just close the door if you want to do that. I'll
Well,
describe
if
the
we're
room.
I was gonna say, if we're surprised, does he not get a free turn on us?
Well, he was also surprised.
Ha, dork. Imagine.
Yeah. And actually, he had, he did worse as far as the surprise thing. So, kind of borrow from AD&D.
Oh, I love that. That's like that video of a bear and a guy that meet on a corner and both of them just run off to the distance.
That's right. There is nothing in here of significant value, anyways. By the way,
Okay.
Let's close the door and ask the acolyte. Are they able to control this thing?
Yeah, what's
Can it
with the bear room?
and as you open the door, he's like, "Wait, honored ones!" He interrupts his ritual. "Why? That's the torture bear. That's the room where we send those without honor for death that is
torture.
not. It's not.
All right. Okay.
Oh, that's
Let's go.
incredible.
Let's see the battle. Let's see.
Yeah, good to know. We'll tell them after the ritual is completed. Bring the accoutrements to us and join us.
Okay. So, well, Jasir, you what do you all do then while they're doing that?
We're continuing on to wherever the fighting is occurring to see what the situation is.
Roger that.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get. Yeah.
Let me like put a light here on one of these guys so that you
I
can
think
see.
Stupid Bailick might have this handled.
My gosh.
This is a scene of utter chaos. It is a fantasy battle between skeletons and corpses and zombies that clamber across the chasm and struggle to build the meat bridge in order to counter siege 3 regiments of lizard men that take cover behind the various pillars and fire arrows and throw spears against the hordes of undeath. The undead outnumber them, but the lizard men are more hardy. At the head of all of this, orchestrating this chaos of death is the Dark Patriarch, who petitions the Dark One. And let me resolve one quick round here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 18. Actually, they would not be able to make it, so it would just be one regiment. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And 2, 4, 6, that'd be 12, 24, 36, 64. Actually,
Depending on the outcome of this round, the 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗𝖍𝖐 is pretty unprotected. We could probably just jump him.
Maybe. And I like the idea of maybe we go back. We kill the one god who isn't charmed. We take all the stuff, and we tell the acolyte and the god left to say that some lizardmen snuck up from behind, from above ground.
Well, because the only thing that I'm thinking is, man, when are we gonna get a better chance? You know?
Maybe, but I am curious, like, what I think is it might be worth it to explore their secret area first before we take over the cult.
Yeah, but if we eliminate the cult, we just explore the secret area then. You don't have to worry about being careful about desecrating holy places or whatever. Or consecrating unholy places.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be. Now, I'm to understand, however, that the 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗𝖃 is technically a cleric, not a magic user, so I don't think it's possible to interrupt his spells in the same way you can interrupt a magic user's spells. But if we can bonk him on the head really quickly, I think we'll have a lot easier time.
Where's the one for wizards? He's not a wizard. He's not a wizard. Right. He's just I'm using chainmail, so he's a wizard for that reason. Let's see here. He can do
I don't know how much necromancy I could do before it starts getting to like tainting my soul.
Bolt. This I know about catapult.
Oh. Man.
Tell me about the catapult. How much does it?
Is there any way for us to set off the trap on the other side of the pillars? The fire trap? Or what's probably a fire trap?
That's like over here. The lizard aren't close enough yet.
1d100. 20 yards. Okay. So, a few things happen. Like as you're coming up on this, this is what's going on with the battle. Is they're struggling to build the meat bridge in order to counter siege as they're like firing arrows. And then the lizard men are just like slowly, incrementally advancing and bringing stuff up, and there are more lizard men joining. And eventually they build a narrow meat bridge just enough. One regiment makes it across. 3 lizard men die. All of the zombies and skeletons are cast into the chasm and ripped apart by the lizard men. And then 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗𝖃, the Dark Patriarch, summons the Dark One, and a cloud of dark energy engulfs a whole area here. And they are easily slain by dark magic. So this is a condensed version of, you would know, the power of death itself. Finger of Death. But this is just condensed into one round with chainmail with like a spellcaster. And he just like wipes out an entire regiment. With that, they are going to make a morale check, which they utterly fail, and the lizard men are going to flee.
Ooh.
In disorder.
Yeah, I think we should head back and try to do the stealing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
this is, by the way, all occurring in about 3 rounds. So
Okay,
not one whole turn has not even passed for him to unlock the ritual.
Oh, it takes 3 turns, not 3 rounds.
3 turns. That's right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I guess I'm a little confused at what the distinction is.
A turn is 10 minutes. A round is 1 minute.
Okay. Is that a chainmail thing or is it a Swords and Wizardry thing?
It's original D&D, Swords and Wizardry.
Yeah, it was an AD&D thing too.
Rounds are your chopped up combat timing.
I guess I guess what you're saying is like you do dungeoneering in turns, but combat in rounds, generally speaking.
Yeah, and you just haven't had a whole turn pass.
Right.
That makes sense.
Well, they might pursue the lizardmen. I still think we should probably, back up.
I think we should back up and.
Well, I was gonna say, I wonder if we can convince 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗 to try to pursue them, run them down, and sacrifice them to your dark god.
Oh, and we could also inform him about the battle up top. See if he wants to intervene in that as well.
Inform him about what? Sorry.
The battle up top, and ask him if he wants, because that's why we originally came down, right? Was to see if we could convince them to go battle the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Okay. Jasir, what is the group consensus? Is it to try to parlay with 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗, or is it to?
Are we good with that? We'll inform him of the fight we saw up top, and that he should try to pursue these guys while we clear out the guys from behind. Say like we're getting sandwiched, right?
I would say we will pursue them into the dungeons while you guys go dispatch the Minotaur. Because I don't think they're going to pursue into the dungeons. They've been pretty reluctant to go into the dungeon.
Okay, so we'll say there's the Minotaur and Beastmen are attacking the way up top into your vault.
My suggestion is that the Minotaur and the Beastmen are greatly weakened by a similar sized attack up top.
Okay.
Not that they're being assaulted.
Right. That's what we'll do then. We'll inform him about the battle the Minotaur was having up top, and that the Minotaur is greatly weakened. We will pursue these lizardmen and drive them off. If you will dispatch the Minotaur.
Okay. This all comes down to this reaction. Pretty good. He says, "Champions, welcome back to my halls. I was concerned that you hadn't completed your quest. But it seems that we are under pressures that are more immediate, isn't it so? Yes, I will summon the meat bridge. You will hew them down, and I will end the threat above, and we will reclaim the surface so that we can bring more tribesmen into the fold. Follow me." And then you see this dark patriarch in his own lair lead an army of undead and cultists out and up and above to face the Minotaur.
Okay.
And then
Feel the stuff.
He builds you a meat bridge that you can make it across with.
Okay.
Right. We should wait for him to go up there and then just go back over the meat bridge and go steal stuff.
I agree.
Oh, that reminds me. Elsewhere in the complex, there was really expensive gems set into a statue.
That was there was one in the bard room, right?
Yeah. The chapel. Their big statue of Thanatos has expensive looking gems.
We will of course avoid triggering the.
Oh wait, hold on, real quick. Did any of the lizardmen get torched?
Torched?
Yeah, in their fleet, there's a fire trap right here.
No.
Bummer.
Yeah, they know about that. Yeah. Okay, you make it across the meat bridge. There are dead lizardmen everywhere at your feet. Some of them scorched by dark sorcery, others slain by zombies and skeletons. There's also fetid and nasty bloated rat corpses, both on the far wall and near the chasm.
Let's go ahead and search the... How long do we want to spend searching lizardmen before we head back?
I'm not sure that it's necessarily
Right.
worth it to even search them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a war band. I can't imagine they have more than weapons and armor,
Yeah.
if even
Okay.
that.
Let's making sure that we gave what's his face some time to go to the surface. Let's go ahead and turn around and head back towards the treasury that they have.
Okay. About 1.5 turns have passed. He needs another 15 minutes.
I'll whisper to the group. I think perhaps we should get rid of the one god who isn't charmed. We can't have any witnesses after all.
Yeah, we should be like, hey, they need you up top. They're fighting the Minotaur. It's the glorious glorious summit to your epic battle, and the god of death requires your ultimate sacrifice. Just you though, just this guy.
He says, we were stationed here by the Dark Patriarch, though, and the Acolyte says, no, brother, you must go. This is your moment. And of course he has to obey the Acolyte, so he departs.
I'm so glad that charm worked, guys.
Yeah. Well, now if he survives the battle, he'll know what happened.
All right, let's see what happens between the Dark Patriarch. Do you want me to roll in the open or secret? No, I'm going to do it secretly.
Do it in secret.
Yeah, you should do it
Absolutely.
secretly. Yeah.
Absolutely do it secret. Because if we steal this stuff and then go up there and like all of the dudes, like 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗 and them are all still alive and there's like a dead Minotaur absolutely wrecked, it's gonna be a real awkward moment.
No,
could
we can still pretend it, presumably. We'll just say some lizard men. We have these two charmed. They could say lizard men attack.
Our arms are full of your most precious clerical accoutrements, and I have one of your currently your only most trusted deputy hauling a big bag of cash with a $sign on it, like we just robbed the bank. We were supposed to be chasing down lizardmen.
Well,
Man,
suppose
that
we'll
would
see
be
how
a
much they actually have.
comedy of errors. Emphasis on the errors.
I'm going to re-roll that. Did it in the open. Private. There we go.
We could run all the way back down and try to come out the other side like a ring around the rosy.
The problem is the two entrances are like 20 feet away from each other.
Nah, don't worry about that. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
In fact, where the Minotaur is, that's the other entrance.
Oh, this is a lot of fun.
I really, really, really love being able to whip out like chainmail and do like Arnesonian level kind of stuff. Like that's the stuff. I like that.
I posted it 13 minutes ago in our Lioness chat. I think Ross just wanted to play chainmail. That's
We're doing some politicking right now.
Let's see.
we are. I think this is a in my opinion anyway, this is the most fun form of faction gameplay, because whenever I play a game that has factions, I never want to just straight up ally with anybody. Ultimately, I want all of them to die and me to have all their treasure, I think this is the most fun way to do that, is like beset them on each other.
And I think this works well because either way we could potentially talk our way out of this, whether 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗 wins or loses. If 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗 loses, we just escape with the treasure. If he wins, we went after the lizard folk, some more attack
The
their base.
absolute dream would be that 𝕬𝖃𝖊𝖗 loses here, and then we come back with all of our fresh money from just looting this place, with a bunch of archers, and then we just turn this Minotaur into a pincushion. That would be the absolute. That would be the dream.
So, are you waiting for the time to pass to get the treasure here?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. He's able, after some time passes, and he opens it. He shows it to you. There is he is aware, because he's an acolyte, of all the various traps and curses, of which there are many, in fact, and knows how to remove them. There is a jeweled mace worth 2,000 gold pieces. Gnarly and black. It is a weapon, a ceremonial weapon of chaos. An iron box that contains 1,000 gold pieces. A leather bag with 5 100 gold piece gems. A 2,000 gold piece gem and a 1,500 gold piece gem. This is all of the treasure of this cult across the ages. A skull-shaped silver goblet set with gem chips, 500 gold pieces, and platinum box, intricately carved with ancient runes valued at 2,500 gold pieces. Does anybody speak? You want to roll your Thracian thing?
I sure do, Ross. 86, that's a fail.
Okay. You do not know what the runes say. Inside.
Can we just ask the guy?
Oh yeah, you ask him. Sure. Yeah. He tells you that this is an accursed king that betrayed our people. They turned against the true God, the Dark One. This is a chalice of King of Thracia, Argos II. The platinum box, he says, these are relics. We've kept them intact and never opened this box. You do not know what is inside. He does not know what is inside.
Right. So did someone write down all the treasure that we got?
I can post it in chat.
I wasn't.
I have,
Excellent.
I have the list, so there's no trouble there.
Okay.
It sounds like upwards of
Now,
$1,000 for each of us.
If you leave with this, you're their enemy now. Like, let's be clear. Yeah. So. Which was getting close to that anyways, because you have not completed your agreement.
Right. So I guess we have a couple of options here now. Is do we go and see how the battle's going? Do we go and start prying eyes from statues in other places of this area?
Well, I think the faster we get out of here with this, the better. Because at the current moment, they would be at the main entrance fighting the Minotaur. So their entrance is actually empty right now. We can get out. The longer we take, the more likely is they start coming back through their own entrance, and we run into them.
Right.
That being said, I did have an idea, and I'll take out some wolfbane from my pack and sprinkle it into water, like my water skin, and say, "Can you ask your acolyte to give this to the Dark Patriarch on his return?" To quench his thirst.
For Wolfsbane, in the hopes that maybe he's a lycanthrope?
Not.
because it's poisonous.
Yeah, because it's poisonous, yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Just because he might trust his last acolyte.
No, I got it. All right.
I have a stupid question. Help me out here. Didn't we talk about this before and we determined that it was poisonous? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We fed it to a Gnoll who passed the saving throw for.
Yeah. In real life it's poisonous as well, right? It's like acetone or something like that.
Wow.
All right, guys. It's time to lock in. Okay, you ready? Brother, this is a special gift from the champions of the Dark One, from the true believers. This is to be your ultimate victory feast, for if and when you triumph over the Minotaurs. This shall season the banquet of the Chaos God. Use this in preparing food and wine for your next feast upon defeat of the Minotaur, and you will all be granted your glorious climactic enlightenment in service of Thanatos.
Okay. Right on.
And I'll give him 3 pieces of wolfbane.
They take it to to the Patriarch.
It is called Cool Aid.
Yeah, to mix with the food. All right. So let's take this treasure. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Do the whistle.
Yeah. How long would it take? We still have 28 minutes. How long would it take, as far as turns go, give or take, to get over to the chapel? So that would be, instead of leaving via the secret entrance, to wing a 90-degree turn on the wooden bridge,
Or
which
what about the
covers
rest?
2 chasms. So we would need to blow the whistle on both those occasions, plus the one that's like right to the south of us now, where the iron bars with the visage of the woman was, and the statue of Thanos, the chapel.
What were you saying, Jasir?
Also, isn't there another room where they do rituals? I think it was just north of the rope bridges. I don't know if you guys checked that out yet or not.
We've been in there with 𝕬𝖚𝖋𝖍𝖵 before. There didn't seem to be anything of value. It's like a shrine with like skulls around the base of a fountain.
Okay, yeah, let's skip that then. Yeah, let's
That's just a suggestion. It's up to you.
let's come down. Let's come down to this first bridge, blow the whistle and everything,
Okay.
and continue to the east. Oops, not quite that far.
All right.
That's okay. And then
So wait.
And
So
then-
your goal is to go back to the chapel. Is that right? The one with the. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
with the braziers and I think there was holy water, some kind of water. But yeah,
Okay.
so we blow the whistle, head east at this fork. Do the whistle
And then-
again. And pulse,
Yeah, blow the whistle again, just for good measure. I don't know if we have to, but
just in case.
The
Can't have enough
stones,
evil whistle.
a different color, and you enter a chapel, which is still operating and still has people in it. And it looks like they are tense and on guard. These are people kept here to guard the chapel.
I still have 2 men that are charmed. Are any of these the men that I've charmed?
Let me roll for that.
Please.
One of them is one of the people you've charmed.
Okay. I think we should send him away. We should say that all of them should go, but I doubt the other 3 are going to go. And then just club these guys over the head.
Yeah, we'll let them know of the glorious fight which is occurring for the, for the vying for control of this area.
Could I begin with casting sleep on these people left?
Yeah, too. Just douse them.
Any other spells?
No.
Fresh out.
Roll for initiative, Jasir.
Operation Protect Sparrow.
Sorry, that's a
We'll
5.
get a 6.
I'll go back to public. So simultaneous initiative. And let's see. The first one is if you are moving. I know we have the group token. You can just kind of. Let me put it this way: if you're firing a missile, you don't have to worry about hitting anyone in this turn, any friendly people. So if you're firing a missile, go ahead and fire it now. And your target is.
I'd like to throw darts.
I would like to throw a dagger.
Ascending armor class 13 is the target.
Jasir will attack with his sling, but he misses.
15 for the
Yeah.
slotted arms in the back. Okay. And go ahead and tell me the damage if you hit.
I hit with a 20 and did 2.
2 points of damage. Okay.
What's the armor class? Sorry.
13.
Okay, I hit once for 4 damage. 3 damage.
All right. 3 damage. Got it. All right. Let's see. And if you're moving, you can let me know, but everybody's within range to move to any of these opponents. I'll also describe the room because you can choose to do things with that. There's a ritual purification basin on the far easternmost part of the room. That's down right here. You can see that in the southeastern corner. It's like holy water, but it's unholy water. Like if you went into a church and there was a holy water basin. There is in the westernmost side 2 braziers and a statue of a deity, obviously of the dark one. It has jeweled eyes, and then there are these curtains. There are 4 curtains, and then there are 4 torch sconces on the walls in the center of the room as well. Okay. From there, none of them are going to fire missiles. They are all going to charge, fight you. And then melee combat. If you're doing melee combat, you have 3 opponents. Okay, there are 2 that are less armed and armored. They look like cultists. Their target is ascending armor class 13. There's 1 man at arms and chain and parts of armor and a helmet. And he has a larger weapon, a halberd. And his is ascending armor class 15.
Are these single hit die creatures?
2 of them are.
Get them, Wyman.
Oh,
Which one?
Lord. Yeah, the 2 cultists are single hit die.
Choppy.
Melee and spells take part in the first phase, in the same phase, right?
Mm-hmm. I just have.
So I would go after, yeah.
Yeah, I just have melee go first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And actually, it's simultaneous initiative, so all of this will simultaneously happen anyway. So it's all going to happen. Yeah, you can go ahead and roll, Wyman, if you want to. You can attack. What is that?
Okay, let's. 1 hits 4. Oh, 8 damage.
Nice.
Right.
Get cleaved, dork.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
What a
Wyman's
monster.
been waiting for this.
6 damage.
Absolute monster. All right, those 2 people are dead. Yeah, anybody want to attack the man at arms?
I think we all range attack.
Yeah.
them. Anyone who
I'll,
could.
Yeah.
I'll attack him.
Yeah, I think Hans. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hans is a fighter as well, right?
All right, let's see. Oh,
We
that is
still
a
have-
20. That is a
Oh my
20 on the
gosh.
die.
Nice.
This is a great session.
And it's 5 damage.
All right. 2, 3, 5 damage, and ooh, I rolled kind of high. No, it's not too bad. 5, so that leaves 7 of 12. Okay. All right. He is also going to make a morale check immediately. He fails miserably, and he has nowhere to go, and he capitulates and offers his life to you.
I think my sleep goes off here and he just falls to the ground asleep.
You can not do that if you want, or you can make him go to sleep. You can do either one. But yeah, it
I'll
does-
make him go to sleep.
He does. He goes
No,
to
no,
sleep
no,
as
no.
well.
Tell him to take the jewels out of the statue.
Oh yeah. Tell him to do it so that when
What
the
a
thing
great idea.
animates and shoots lasers out of his eyes, it's him who's getting got, not us.
What a great idea.
That's
Okay.
an amazing idea, Nostromo. Oh,
We'll stand behind the corner right at the
Yeah,
edge here.
yeah. Oh, this is awesome. Fetch us everything of value in this room and you may go.
Indeed, the braziers ignite and flame. And he's incinerated. But the braziers then go out.
Well,
Was he successful in taking the gems out, or did it get him too soon?
He was, yeah, they're like on the floor. Yeah.
There we go. Let's go
Might as well
collect
go
them.
pick him up.
how much were the gems worth?
These turquoise gems are huge. They're each worth 2,000 gold pieces.
All right.
Ooh,
Let's get the hell out of here, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta go.
right.
Let's
on.
friggin' fly this chicken coop, dude.
You all have
Yeah.
utterly ripped off this cult. I'm not sure who's evil anymore. You make
We're
it
the
back to
good
the
guys.
Bloody Bowl Tavern with gems and artifacts and things worth an unreasonable, basically the accumulated treasure and value and worth of the entire cult across ages. And with that concludes our adventure for the evening. Mythic Mountains RPG is a private online play club that focuses on folk RPGs. Folk RPGs are the games that belong to all of us. They're what actually happens at a table between friends. It's their voice that has the authority on what is fun and what works for them. Weekly, we upload our games to allow others to sit in with us. The channel isn't monetized. We don't own the artwork, music, software, or games shown in these actual plays, and you can find links to their authors in the description. Like, subscribe, and share if you wish, or don't. Just like games in person, you're welcome to pull up a chair, sit in, and watch some of our games. No performances, no fancy equipment, just regular people playing folk pencil and paper role-playing games and having a good time. We hope these games will prove a source of enjoyment to anyone just wanting to listen in, anyone looking for examples of how actual groups run and play folk RPGs, and most importantly, if you haven't found your group yet, you're welcome here at ours.